Welcome back to New Game, New Rules. This is Speaker. This is going to be part 3 of cattle mutilations. I had some requests and some people wanted to call me an armchair scientist, so I'm going to show you a little bit more so I knock it out of the park and, knock some people's socks off. So we're going to start out. If you watch part 1 and part 2, you already know I've hammered notchbacks, these dudes. And this was taken from the STS-75 tether incident. You see the dudes flying around. Now, check this out. This was taken October last month. This is just now turning November in Mexico. And I'm just going to press play here and pop this open a little bit. Kind of looks like the tether incident. Pretty cool. You can see the randomization of how they're moving, how they interact with each other. These are a bunch of notchbacks. Why they're so attracted to Mexico, I have no idea, but evidently off of the waters on the coastal end, they just seem to like it there. Maybe the people are friendlier. Anyway, it's an amazing video. Press pause here. We're going to move on. Now, amoebas. I keep calling these guys stupid because of the way that they move, their reactions. They're very simplistic. Now, here's something that's really interesting. On Earth, the largest amoebas, referred to as a giant amoeba, is about 4 millimeters in size. And the interesting thing is if you actually read about them, it's a unicellular organism, but it can have more than one nucleus, and it's not hypothesized, it's an actual fact that they have quite a few nuclei inside of them, which means that their calculator memory goes up a little bit. And also when they split, they can split into a bunch of dudes, and they can also recombine into one. And the memories that go and split get taken with them, and then when they join, they learn from each other. So if they've had 3.8 to 4 billion years to evolve, they're not as stupid as we thought. So let's check out some interesting facts. This is part 3. This is actually kind of a addendum. I'm just going to bounce around a little bit, but I'll give you some new info here. Here's an interesting tidbit. How come there's never been an FBI reward for cattle mutilations? There has been millions upon millions of dollars of loss. Sylvie's Ranch, I believe he estimated an easy $2 to $5 grand for each of the 5 bulls. The numbers just add up. Now, why didn't they put a reward on it? Because they knew what it was. So, here's some other interesting facts. Speaking of Sylvie's Ranch, I'm not going to say who the owner is, but he offered up a $25,000 reward for information, but refuses to answer his phone or emails. So, and here it is. Each bull was worth $6,000. So, hope you lose some more, Sylvie's Ranch. You deserve it. Now, there's probably 30 rewards that are going currently. I've actually called all of them, not to claim the reward, but to actually talk to the people and have them give me credit for solving this. And in each case, it was excuse after excuse after excuse. I called the Kansas Livestock Association, and the gal that answered the phone didn't even know what a cattle mutilation was. And there's rewards from them and other places in Kansas. The only guy that was good was a guy who just had a mutilation recently and put money up on it. But unfortunately, some people got to him and said to stay away from me. So God bless him. He'll see my videos. And here's another interesting tidbit. Here's the $1 million in damage from 8,000 mutilations in Colorado alone, let alone the other states. So let's move on. Let's get into some good stuff. This is the Black Vault. This is an awesome website if you're not familiar with it. They've got a ton of declassified documents. If you click on that, you'll come to this page, and you go Freedom of Information Act Document Archive, and I found the Paranormal Collection. I skimmed down, and I found Animal and Cattle Mutilations 1 and 2. this was a early release, this was a later release. We're going to talk about the recent release and knock that one out, because once again the feds are trying to do their little you don't see what's going on so you won't figure it out tactic. Now in here they're saying that a helicopter that they're tracking is responsible for lifting these cattle, and they're going after whoever the individuals are, and they have a neat little description of the individuals, and they found NZ on the helicopter, and there's a bunch of redacted things on here. Ridiculous. But anyway, here's the interesting thing. It's a Bell 47 helicopter. If you watch the TV show MASH, you already know what that chopper looks like, because that's the same helicopter that's featured in it. But I wanted to get the descriptions. Here we go. Now remember, this is from 1979, I think. Yep, 79. And the first guy has got a Fu Manchu mustache. The other guy's got a bandana around his neck, smokes cigarettes. So we got a couple hippies flying a MASH crop duster that are stealing 600 cattle in one shot. Now remember, this isn't just 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. There's been instances in France where there's 100 and 200 taken in a shot. So if you think it's a cult, you think it's some dudes in a helicopter that were hippies that were out probably crop dusting their property, you're pretty high and you should join these dudes. So let's check out the Bell 47 helicopter weight capacity. Okay. You get a 1-hour flight with the full payload at approximately 600 pounds. So we already know that these cattle are weighing anywhere from 500 to 2,000 pounds, but let's just double check my numbers. Maximum cabin weight 510, 550, 550, 550, and this is classified as a light utility helicopter. Basically, it was actually used, if I remember correctly from my time in Korea, as a training helicopter. Bell's the one who actually came out with them, and this is just a 3-seater. It's a very simple, basic helicopter. But let's recheck my numbers. Maximum takeoff weight is 2,850 pounds, and the empty weight is 1,733. If you subtract those two, you get about 1,000, 1,100 pounds roughly. With the occupants in the vehicle, those two dudes, let's say that's 300 pounds, we're down to 800. So how are we lifting something that weighs more than 800 pounds and reliably taking it and putting it somewhere else? Plus, don't forget, we have to have all this laser equipment with us, with this theory anyway. Another bust. So let's check this out. This is the part 1, which has actually got a ton of really good information. And I'm just going to scan through some of it. It all makes sense to you at the end, as usual. This one says there was hair on logs and brush. Also, several trees that were about 3 inches in diameter were broken. And it appeared that he had been down prior to his death. So I thought that was an interesting little read. So that shows that where the animal was killed, this one happened at that location. It didn't happen somewhere else, and they came back because there was a struggle. Now, if you had a chopper in here, you wouldn't be having hair on logs and brush and broken little branches. You'd have a helicopter down. Now, this is really interesting stuff here. In Utah, a United States Department of Agriculture veterinarian announced that an animal had been injected with bacteria or a toxin. His superiors told him if he didn't shut up, he would be fired. This is page 25 of this document. Right here. FBI release number 1, 131 pages, 9 megs. Absolutely very, very interesting detail. Now we're going to add up some other details here. This is same thing, page 60. Cut all of the rectum udder, 2 holes on the jugular vein on the right side. Remember our pseudopods, our false feet? Hole in between the front legs, look like they might want to get to the heart. 2 holes in the back of the hip, blah, blah, blah. 1 in the neck, 1 in the side of the spine. Look like they were made from the air while the cow was standing up. All sexual organs and udder were taken. Okay. Now, this is Los Alamos. This was their exam. This is on page 77 of anything that was abnormal. And the only thing that they said was in the bacteriology section, a specimen obtained from the heart chamber was cultured and shown to contain a rod-shaped organism identified as Clostridium species. Definitive classification was not made. They didn't classify this, and they are Los Alamos Scientific Laboratory. If you've read any of their early publications, they actually used to publicate their early works. I'm going to guess it was in the late 90s, 2000. It might still be online, of all the work that they did, genetic modifications, solutions. They definitely classified this species. So anyway, just to back up what I was saying, his main reason, this is on page 86, this is gotta go up to the top here, the director of the FBI, and his comment. His main reason for these research into biological warfare, his main reason for these beliefs is that he feels that he was given the runaround by Los Alamos Scientific Laboratory, and they are attempting to cover up this situation. So, and then he goes into the cults and rituals and flying objects. So, let's go back to my amoebas, internal virus Clostridium. So, when I did that, I came up with this. And then we look here. Other reasons why various bacterial species listed in the CCL3 list have not been tested with their interaction with amoeba includes a limited number of laboratories investigating these interactions and a theoretical assumption that many of these interactions would not make sense. It sounds like a nice little cover up here. It's almost counterintuitive that obligate anaerobic bacteria such as Clostridium, 16 species on the list, and 20 species and 7 species might survive or even grow within amoeba. However, intra-amoebal persistence and or multiplication have demonstrated anaerobic species that belong to the genre. So, what's that saying? Let's check out what the definition of this is. Okay, I just happen to have it. What do you know? It's a genus of gram-positive bacteria. And remember, amoebas eat bacteria. Here on Earth, they actually live on top of soil, put their pseudopods into the soil, and feed off of gram-positive bacteria. You named it. What do you know? So, let's see here. This is a video that I found just to show you what we've been talking about in all these last paragraphs. I said that there's a flying octopus that's got a built-in arc welder that can kill 2,000-pound animals with ease. Human beings are Tootsie Pop. Well, my video that I showed you guys right here turns into this because it's been deleted. But hey, guess what? I downloaded it, so screw you to the people that pulled this and wiped it off the internet. But here's a flying octopus, and he's got a built-in arc welder. What do you know? And he's doing a mutilation. Huh? Interesting stuff. This is what the government doesn't want you to know. And I'll tell you why they don't want you to know. If you started figuring out that there is a bacteria and single-cell organisms in our airspace that have grown to enormous sizes, it would create a panic. And this dude is on the top of the food chain, not us. I don't know what kind of weapons we got to take this sucker down. I know that some people have said that the Space Force can take these guys out no problem, but I really question that because the maneuverability of these dudes is pretty amazing. Anyway, this was an amazing video, and it showed what's called, I'll give it its proper name, a notchback, or as NASA calls them, critters, or as scientists call them, extraterrestrial extremophiles. And I'm going to try to pause this, and we'll move on. So what else do I got for you? Now, this is really interesting. Way back in 94, Larry Gardia was hunting for a bear in a backwoods area about 3 miles north of Chacon, New Mexico, when he was startled by a humming sound. A humming sound. That's interesting. Gardia told Mora County Sheriff's Deputy Greg Lambla that he saw about a dozen cows running away from 3 other cows who were being pulled into the woods by what appeared to be an invisible being. I asked him if it was a beam of light, and he said it wasn't. He said it was like a gravitational pull. And he told the Santa Fe Mexican newspaper he couldn't describe the hum to me. He said he shot at the sound 3 times and ran back home. Gardia came later and discovered one of the cows was dead and mutilated. A second cow was alive but crippled, according to Lumbosh, and the third cow was missing altogether. So, let's see. The right side of the jaw was gone, skin was removed, and they did that to access the tongue. They removed the whole tongue to the point where it connects to the bottom jaw. So your classic cattle mutilations. The sexual organs and udder were taken, but no bullet wounds, bloodstains, or sign of struggle were apparent, he told the New Mexican. This is really interesting. In 1994, there was a witness, and I pulled up another one here because it's not completely the same story. It is, but this one goes into more detail where, according to Gardia, as he approached a chain-link fence, he saw a dead cow lying about 30 feet in front of him. Immediately, he noticed a large cylindrical hole where the animal's rectum should have been. And 10 feet beyond that was another one, motionless on its knees. Suddenly, about a dozen other cows began running. He followed on, began hearing a whirring or humming sound he likened to the noise made by a welder's torch. When he looked down at the 2 downed cows, he saw a third cow moving through the air just slightly above the ground, as if it were being pulled by gravitational force or beam. The cow, bawling and struggling for freedom, was being dragged into the thick of the forest. Gardia saw no object of any kind in the direction of the cow was being pulled, but instinctively raised his rifle and shot twice. Blah, blah, blah. So, let's go here. This is Our Stranger Planet, and it talks about high heat, and it basically links crop circles, UFOs, and cattle mutilations, and the evidence of high heat apparently originating in the microwave region of the electromagnetic spectrum. Remember our little grape experiment? Yeah, that's kind of important because that ties into this. We'll get back to that, though. Now, this is Dr. Levengood. Dr. Levengood, God rest his soul, is no longer with us. He was a biophysicist, W.C. Levengood. You can look him up on his bios. He was one of those guys that thought outside the box and did some really good scientific research. But I'm going to go back down here. And in late October, this dude reported 3 of his pregnant cows near La Veta, Colorado. At the same time frame, a neighbor saw a bright beam of light sweeping the pasture at 2 a.m. Howe investigated found several rings pressed into the grass, measuring about 5 feet in diameter. Samples were sent to Dr. Levengood, who observed the same grass cell changes noted in the previous mutilation sites. In November 95, he issued a series of reports detailing his findings of the samples obtained by the 5 bovine excision sites that year. Blah, blah. He concluded these studies clearly suggest that microwave energy is a major component of the energetics involved in the plant alterations at the bovine excision sites. These findings are in agreement with crop circle formation results, which also point to a microwave energy component. So, remember our arc welder that flies? There's our guy. And you can read this article. This is the same as the last 2 stories I showed you, and for time constraints, I'm going to keep moving on here. Remember my grape experiment in part 1? Researchers in Canada found that grapes act as resonators for the microwave radiation, but if two grapes sit next to each other, that hot spot forms where the grapes touch. Salts within the grape skin now become electrically charged or ionized, like your ionized salt. Releasing the salt ions produces a plasma fire. So, looks like these dudes know how to control their salt intake. Now, we're going to look up electromagnetic heat plasma and see what it says. When the electromagnetic waves of the appropriate frequency are beamed into the plasma particles absorb energy from the field of the wave and transfer it to the other particles through collisions. The circular motions of the ions and electrons around the magnetic field lines afford suitable resonances. So, let's move on. We're going to look at, not that, we're going to look at that same word. I wanted to show you this with the cholesterium. Can't pronounce that word. My tongue's too messed up and my teeth are missing. Sorry, my mouth's real cut up from my seizures. This is something that I found that was really interesting. All cattle mutilations have similar things in common. They're going after the heart. They always find incision marks here. The rear end is gone and the jawline's gone. Find that funny? Check this out. This is called blackleg in cattle, and it's basically a disease that they get, and it breaks down the tissue, and then it looks real gross like this. Now, if they were to get this gram-positive bacteria injected to them, like the guy that was going to get fired talking about it from the Utah veterinarian place, guess what? It's going to break it down. And this area, and this are going to go into the amoeba, be broken down, and the chain reaction is going to cause bacteria to grow, which is what notchbacks eat. Amoebas eat bacteria. Some amoeba are predatory and live by consuming bacteria. What do you know? So, this is the process that they eat. They take it into their body, food vacuum. These dudes cover it, start the digestion process, and then it exits the body. So, what does that mean? You see red ones, white ones, orange ones, and clear ones. And I've also seen ones that are dark in color, but I believe that's a photograph error because of the wrong lens used or timing of the day, etc., etc. So when they're clear, they got no food in them. The red, white, and orange are going to represent the different stages of digestion in their bodies. Hello. Now check this out. I figure I'd give you guys some bonuses since people like videos. Everyone keeps calling these guys UFOs, and it really pisses me off. Now, I believe in UFOs, so if you're watching this and you're thinking I'm anti-UFO, I'm not. I just want to separate a critter from a UFO. Just that simple. So, this is kind of cool. Remember I showed you those pictures on the moon in part 1 and part 2 of all the notchbacks taking a nappy poo? And some people might want to say, well, prove that. Check this out. Boom! Here they are waking up, going for a cattle mutilation run. They found out that Colorado's a hot spot. We legalized marijuana, and we've got cattle for them. So, and Oregon. Maybe that's why they're a hot spot. But here they are taking off into space. You can see by their movements and the spinning. So, let's check out some more footage of these dudes. Here they are. Whoop. There's quite a few of them booking. I'm hungry, dudes. Where are we going? There's no McDonald's on the moon. And here's yet another one. And everyone keeps talking about the secret moon base based off of these creatures. Now, get it together, guys. There are UFOs. There's lots of pictures of them. This is a critter, not a metallic UFO. Think level 3. You think level 3, you'll take it a lot farther. And for some reason, it looks like the same video I just played. And let's see this one. Stone, baby. Stone. So here we got something landing on the moon. Oh, it's a notchback. They fed. They're a little bit tired. It's nappy time. And here they are going back to the moon. And I'll tell you something that I find interesting is amoebas live off of oxygen. They permeate it through their bodies and they exhale carbon dioxide. I know for a fact that they like fresh bodies of water, cold, clean water, kind of like Antarctica. You know, like how people are doing some mysterious work out there and saying they found octopuses underwater that are killing scientists, etc., etc. So I'm going to give you one more bonus here in case you're lazy and you didn't see my other videos. This is the Dyatlov Pass incident. I'm actually going to do a verbal little deal on it. This is one of the camera rolls from the 9 people that passed away, unfortunately, and it was labeled as a damaged camera, even though it's not damaged. This picture I flipped around. This is a notchback. That's his pseudopods. Notchback, pseudopods. And this little lightning in here, I'm going to explain that with the video in the last segment here, but bear with me. Here's that lightning that we just showed in that last picture that's up in the air. You see this? It's not trees because of the way it's extending here. Remember, this was the middle of winter in the middle of nowhere. And I'm going to show you this video as well. And this is taken above the northern lights in our, I guess you want to call it outer space. It's above our atmosphere. So, and that picture is going to match this picture, which was taken at the Dyatlov Pass incident. And what's really interesting is 9 hikers that were educated and survival experts knew they were going to die and took pictures. This is a notchback. Here's his notch in the back. Now remember, this is a really old, simple black and white camera. If this was in the UV spectrum, you'd get his body better, but not his little plasma weapon here. So let's take a peek at this dude flying in outer space, and I'll mute it. Look at him jamming. And why is he there? He's probably feeding off that electromagnetic energy from the northern lights, and that's probably why his weapon system's out. They also use it for balancing, but I believe he's recharging right now, doing a little ion transfer, and you can see how he's glowing a little bit as he goes through there. Maybe they get a buzz off this, who knows. It's an awesome video. We're going to go back one, and this is the backyard in Florida at a swimming pool. Now, we're getting a lot of reflection because of the swimming pool, and there's a storm, but as you can see, this is a notchback swimming or drinking from the swimming pool. There's actually 2 of them. There's one here and there's one here. Unfortunately, it's distorted, but you see this lightning effect? Hey, what do you know? You just saw that? But let's go back to this picture from the Dyatlov Pass incident. Remember this little lightning in the air? Notchback, notchback. Hello. You can watch my Dyatlov Pass incident for more on that. Anyway, I wanted to cut this short, and I'm probably taking way too much of your time, but this is part 3 of Cattle Mutilations, the Addendum series. I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned. I'm going to be coming up with part 2, bagging on the inner circle of sheep, and I'm also going to be talking about Antarctica, and I made a huge discovery with Skinwalker Ranch. I think I cracked Skinwalker Ranch, if you can believe that crap. What I'm trying to do is leave these people that are selling you coffee mugs and all kinds of crap. The only thing I'm going to leave you guys, just so you know, is Bigfoot. So good luck.